understand this. When it comes to skipping in high school, I'm a beast. Not just a, oh yeah, bro, I skipped 5th grade. I didn't even show up. Nah, fuck that. Me, I skip and I never get caught. I go in, get the attendance, then skip. So there are two types of skips, the hard skip and the attendance skip, right? The hard skippers, or I mean, at least that's what I call them, is when you skip a class hard. I'm talking like you legit just like don't show up to that class. My way of skipping is like I show up to the class, take the attendance, and bounce. And that way you never get caught. And that is what you call the attendance skip. The only thing about attendance skip is it only works when you have like a substitute. So you're probably wondering like, wait, what the fuck? Then how do you skip? Well, it's because I only skip when I have a substitute. But understand this though, like I've lost count of how many times I've actually skipped because I've had a substitute. You know what I mean? Like that should show you how many times I've had a sub in the past. That's not my fault. Now for me personally, anytime I have a sub, it goes like this. Sub walks in, sub takes attendance, sub makes us watch a movie or do a useless assignment or do nothing. Then class is dismissed. For me, like that's just like a waste of time. Like I really don't have any other people I'm trying to like talk to in that class usually. I have like nothing else to do. I would just rather like roam and like do whatever, right? So what I usually do is I go to the restroom and I never come back, or I just sneak out. I mean, that's simple. And I never get caught on moms. For most people, they see a sub though, they hard skip. First off, when you hard skip, right? That's how the APs catch you, okay? Like APs, teachers, like anybody, right? Because understand this, if they see on the attendance that you were present for like the first 2 periods, but decide to dip on the third, they are gonna see that and they're gonna lurk the halls to find your stupid ass. And trust me, they actually do that shit. That's why they take like the attendance like every class, and they make sure that the attendance is like usually consistent, unless like, I don't know, gotta go home for some reason with like an excuse note or something, but whatever. But they actually do check that shit though, believe it or not. Like I've seen that happen so many times to other people, not even gonna lie. So I already knew that's how that shit worked. And usually what happens is for me, because I don't get caught, because like they're usually looking for like other kids that skipped, right? For me, even let's say if I did skip and I was caught, like I just didn't show up or hard skip, usually they wouldn't really like find me. Not necessarily find me, but I wouldn't look suspicious like in the halls, you know what I mean? Because like there's a technique to actually doing this shit. Even if you do get caught or don't get caught skipping, no matter what type of skip you do, like if you're roaming the halls or if you're going somewhere, you have to look like you're going to like a class, lunch, or you're doing something. You know, you have to be like looking straight forward, you know, on some anime shit. Like you're not looking at anybody else, no eye contact. You're just like dead focused on like where you're going. You're not looking left, right. You're not looking worried. You're not looking nervous. Obviously, with and without backpack, that's like debatable on whether they look suspicious or not. But either way though, you gotta know what you're doing, okay? Obviously, yeah, don't look, you know, suspicious like roaming the halls. But here's my special technique that I use every time I skip. What you do is you put your backpack around the front door, or at least close to it. So when you dip, you can grab your backpack and you're out. That's it. Simple as that. That's mistake number one people do all the time. They skip and they forget their backpack because now they can't even leave to do anything. Can't go home or to another class. They have to come back to that classroom and get that shit, and the sub's gonna be like, oh, and where have you been, young man? I was just, yeah, not a good idea. Your backpack is like your only issue when trying to skip, but if you put it somewhere else outside of the class, then you're good. You could just like go to that shit and grab it. But hopefully nobody will take your backpack because that shit's happened before. Fucking seniors. And usually when I skip, I legit just roam the halls though for like a whole hour and a half. I mean, maybe sometimes I'll like drop by, you know, some other people that are skipping, or like if they're in class, I'll drop by, so what's up? Not that really big of a deal, honestly. Usually when the teachers do ask me like, hey, well, where are you supposed to be? And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm see ya. No, I'm playing. No, but usually it's just like a general excuse. Like, I mean, they believe me too. I mean, hey, I'm a natural like charmer. Hey, like it's cool. Like I don't stutter. I don't do nothing. Make it, you know. I literally just say what's up. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to class right now, or I went to the restroom, you know. And that's that. Like it's not a big deal. Like as long as you're not disrupting the class like that much. Like you're just going to the door. They're coming up. Hey, what's up? Dabbing up. That's it. It's whatever. And then I'll just like continue onward, do, you know, rinse and repeat to like other classes, or just, you know, roam around, like go sightseeing in the damn high school because you never have time to do that shit. It's a big ass high school, at least mine was. So I'm just going around like sightseeing, like, wow, look at all these new rooms and shit I've never seen. Oh, there's a class here? Damn, there's an extra hall. Like, damn, sightseeing. You going exploring down this mug. God damn, like you almost get lost for a second. I mean, because you only really go like the same route to each class, you know, mind you, right? So you're not really like actually exploring. You never have time to do that shit. So obviously when I'm skipping, like I eventually I end up having like the whole high school like download. But the problem is though, is like when you do skip though, at least for me, like I'm just roaming for like a whole hour and a half. And so after like an hour in, like I'm kind of tired as shit. I'm like, fuck, I want to go back to class now. I'm going to sit down somewhere. And you know, there is some places to sit down, not gonna lie. So I mean, there's like outside areas you can sit down, inside, you can sit wherever honestly, and just make it seem like you're doing stuff. I don't know, mind your own business honestly. And it's not hard because mind you, like you can easily, at least depending on how you look though, you can easily pull off like being a senior or any type of upperclassman, even a junior though. And you could just like tell like anybody to ask you what's up, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm an upperclassman, or yeah, I'm senior, or oh, I'm off campus, whatever. It's like so easy. Like as long as you say it and you make it believable, then it's not that hard. Like you just got to be very persuasive. But normally what I do is I normally just skip alone though, because obviously when I skip, it's not like everybody else is gonna be like out and about skipping it. Like I mean, so I'm just usually alone regardless, unless you know, because obviously people have like different lunch schedules. So your class might be during somebody else's lunch schedule, so you could skip and maybe go to their lunch or whatnot. You know, it's whatever. But you're normally like alone though. So I'm just going around adventuring on the high school. But yeah, I'm usually just roaming around there or something. I don't know, sightseeing like beyond the building, the big ass building that I've already like roamed enough. So I'm just, you know, checking out every other place that I've never been to. I don't know. I'm just exploring honestly at that point. But yeah, there was like a few times that like I almost got caught, but like I didn't. Because you know your boy's slick when it comes to stealth mode. So this one time I had this like one sub, right, that everybody in school loved, and I'm gonna shorten his name to Mr. Stew. So Mr. Stew was in many words like the coolest sub. Now before you start getting the wrong idea, he wasn't like that type of cool. And everybody's favorite because he was so nice, gullible, and he gets run over easily. Like he is just like that kind of, you know, mind you, like to give you like physical appearance, he's kind of like what 5'5", kind of nerdy looking, has kind of a wisp, you know, glasses and all, wears like suits and stuff that are a little bit too big for him. I mean, people get away with so much shit around him, it's not even funny. Like you can easily just lie to him. Like he comes into class and they're supposed to take a test and they're like, oh yeah, no, we don't have a test, no, we're just supposed to be working on a whatever, and he's like, oh okay, we'll get to it, guys. And then that's it. You fucking just dodged a test because this fucker believed y'all. But yeah, so he was my sub and dude's taking the attendance, right? And I'm like, yo, all right. Because mind you, like little side note, like for the longest time in like school, like I guess anytime, I guess recently probably in school, like they just, anytime my attendance was called, like I would just respond with like a yo, you know, I just think yo, fuck. So plain simple, I asked to go to the restroom, leave, get my backpack, and start roaming. And that was that. But this motherfucker sub again 2 times after that in the exact same class. And I got caught off guard, right? I legit came into class, things going on as usual. I see my regular teacher, and then I get on my phone, you know, I'm checking out the HeHeXD, and I look up. Next thing you know, that same sub pops up. So I'm like, oh fuck, because one, he probably remembered that I went to the restroom and never came back. I mean, come on now. I mean, I know he's gullible and all. There's no way, right? And 2, I have my backpack with me, right? So that's 2 problems. So I'm like, so I'm like, all right, cracks finger, challenge accepted. And even though he's gullible, I'm pretty sure he might have remembered that I never came back. So I decided to spice things up. I decided to ask to go to the restroom again, and risking whether or not he would be like, wait a minute, didn't you go to the restroom and come back? No, like he was just like, oh, okay, yeah. Go for it. So I'm secretly eyeballing this guy because if I'm leaving, I need my backpack. And obviously if I'm leaving with my backpack, like he's gonna tell me like, what's up? So I slowly walk back to my desk. I can like, oh yeah. Let me leave my pencil right there. Yeah. But really though, I'm just grabbing my backpack. And mind you, the way I'm carrying it is I'm carrying it like that little I guess you could say where you used to hang it back in elementary, you know, they had like those hanger shits and you'd hang it by like the top part. I'm like grabbing it like that, right? Like a damn suitcase, you know, so you can only really see it if you're looking at my legs though. And that shit's like literally hugging my like right leg because, you know, he's on my left side. And mind you, there's like enough desks, you know, in the class that like if you look at me, like the upper part, you're not gonna see it because the desk is just kind of like blocking my leg view, you know, so you can't really like see it. And that's what I was doing. So I was slowly walking. I was kind of like, you know, eyeballing this motherfucker. I was like, okay, yeah, don't look this way. Don't look this way. Yeah. Are we good? And then so basically the second he looked away, I was like, all right, bet. And I just quickly like walked out of there. And that was that. And I thought that was the last time I'd ever have to see him. Nope. Next day he ends up showing up again. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, there's no way he forgot I dipped this class. So this time I decided to just like sneak out, like not even ask to go to the restroom. And there were other guys that I had lunch, you know, during my class, right? Because obviously I had like what 3rd period, and then these guys had like lunch. Obviously if I skipped, I can like hang out with them for a bit. But they're just waiting outside the window, and they give me like all sorts of hands on and shit. And I was telling them like, momento, you know, doing a little, you know, 1 second type finger shit. I was, you know, like I got this. Give me a second. So I was thinking of a plan. I was like, shit, how am I gonna do this? First thing I gotta do is wait for him to turn his back and get my backpack and run, because there's no way on a 3rd time that he forgot about the restroom. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna spice things up even more. I'm talking ghost pepper spice. Okay, so what I do is literally when he doesn't look, because where my desk is like directly like perpendicular, like kind of like the side is facing towards the door, so I don't have to like, you know, go look fucking obstacle parkour around desk. Like I just have to like get up from the side and jut it. So the second he turns around, I just start running. I start hauling ass, but quietly though, like on my toes, you know, on some tiger like crawling shit. Like I was just like tippy-toed like running, so you couldn't really hear me. And I like the backpack, you know, carried on with my hand. I just started like running, you know. So I opened the door, I closed it, and I was out. Like that was it. And then basically like this is what happened. I'm out of there. What's up, guys? He can't catch the beast. He can't. Yeah, come back. Get back to class. I legit ran as fast as I could, like tiger toe running, because if I like ran like a normal person, first of all in the hallway, like everybody would have heard me. Like teachers would have been like coming out talking about, hey, stop right there, like all that shit. So obviously I had to, you know, do some like Tom and Jerry taekwondo shit, like toe running, you know. Like I said, that shit kind of helps though if you master that. So you couldn't hear me run, but I was like running fast as fuck. I ran down the stairs and just kept running. I was just running. I didn't even know if he was chasing me or not. I wasn't gonna risk it. I'm out. So basically while I was running, this is apparently what happened. Back in the class. Oh, okay. It was just you guys. Oh, okay, thank you. You guys have fun now. Yeah. Like, see what I mean by how gullible he is? Like, I guess in his spot, you probably would have thought the same. Like, the door opening and closing, you would have thought it was like, you know, those kids instead of me. You know, like, obviously at first glance, it's like, oh, did the kid just leave the class? Like, and then you go out and it's, oh, it's those kids in the hallway. Oh, okay, you get to have fun. Like, I mean, I guess. I mean, but still, I still think that's kind of, I mean, come on now. Really? But it doesn't matter though. I mean, I got the dub at the end of the day, so. But anyways, yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next vid. Peace.